Okay, so coming back to the map is not the territory. There's still so much to say here, and in this part of the video I'd like to focus on symbolism. The symbol is not the thing that's being symbolized. So take for example the infinity symbol. It's a beautiful symbol and it represents something beautiful, but how do you encompass all of infinity within a symbol? Think about this. A symbol is finite in nature and you're trying to encompass something that's infinite. And notice that when you're talking about something like the infinity symbol, it's like you look at the symbol and does it bring up a sense of awe and wonder within you? Or do you just look at the symbol and that's a symbol, let's move on? So it's like you know the meaning of the symbol, but you fail to look beyond the symbol at what it's pointing to. Infinity. How do you even think about infinity? What's another symbol? The symbol pi. Now notice something about pi. I'm using language to make the sound pi, P-I. That's how it's spelled. That symbol is pointing to another symbol, which is the pi symbol, which in turn is pointing to the number 3.14159 something 265. It goes on and on. It's a long number. It's a number that goes on forever, actually. It's an infinite number, I think. But then that number is the result of the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. So it's like a symbol within a symbol within a symbol. And speaking of numbers, take the number 9. It's a symbolic. It's something symbolic that represents 9 things. In some cultures, it might be a sacred number. I think it might be a lucky number in China, in the Chinese culture. And speaking of numbers, let's talk about language, which is also symbolic. So when I'm speaking right now in this video, I'm using language. I'm using the English language. And we can talk about any language for that matter. My words are pointing to something. It's creating a meaning in your mind, right? So it's symbolic in that way. Take the word love. It sounds a certain way. It can be spelled and written a certain way. And when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about a range of emotions. The territory for love is vast. So what exactly are you pointing to when you talk about love? The symbol itself, while it's just spelled a certain way and said a certain way, it points to a lot of different emotions and feelings. Love can be selfish. Love can be selfless. A selfish form of love might be like just love for yourself or your family or maybe your culture or your religion, irrespective of everything or everyone else. Or your love can be selfless. where you can look beyond yourself or your culture or your religion, be more accepting. So that's symbolism. I also want to come back to maps of the mind. I think I spoke about this in the previous video. So when we talk about maps of the mind, again, we are talking about these maps that you create in your mind. Let's say you have a fear of something, like a fear of public speaking, for example. So this can help you in a way if you see that you're creating these maps in your mind. So if you have a fear of public speaking, the reason you fear that is because you have this ideas in your mind that if you go on stage and start speaking, you might forget what you want to say, or trip over your words, or say something wrong, perhaps. So you're creating all these maps in your mind of territories that don't even exist. It's something that you anticipate will take place in the future, but you're still creating these maps and these models in your mind about what might happen. Not something that's happened, not a territory that's already in place, but of territories that don't even exist. And you get lost in these ideas. You get so caught up in it that it becomes believable. So yeah, notice how your symbols and your maps can trap you, and what you need to do is you need to look beyond these maps and symbols to see what it's really pointing to.